Hello and welcome to part 2 of my video here creating a 2D flying bat that I'm going to import into Blender. If you haven't watched the first part, maybe this one will make a little bit more sense if you go back and watch that first. For everybody else, yeah, it's me, Eric Pauly at Erpley.com, where you can hire a freelance animator, that be it me. I don't just animate, I also edit and I do all the bells and whistles. Check it out, erpley.com. Link is in the description. For the now, let's switch over to my tablet screen. That's not it. This is it. And pull out my stylus. Because it's art. So where did we leave off? So far I have a symbol inside of my timeline with this doodle of a bat opening its wings and flying just a bit. So once it starts to fly, I'm actually going to grab that again and put it inside of another symbol. That way it appears to be flying for a longer duration of time. Really, I want it to last for the rest of this timeline. Now, I'm animating this in 60 frames per second, so it's new to me and a little bit just different. It's not necessarily more complicated or more difficult. It's just different for me. So, first off, I'm going to turn that blur, and let's just go ahead and go down the timeline. So I think it starts to duplicate right here. So I'm going to just insert frame. So there's nothing going on here first, that's why it looks the way it does. And I'm just going to save, and let's Control Shift S, and save a new file. That way, if something gets weird or something goes wrong, I can go back to the old file and start off where I left off rather than starting all the way over. It's one of those animator tricks that you kind of pick up along the way. I really do like the outline style of animation, so like having a nice thick outline here. I think I'm going to go with 3 rather than 2. So it still has that traditional look. Let's see what it looks like. I want it to be a little bit more jagged, kind of like that. That should be sufficient. Oops. I'm hitting that button on the side. Now I'm going to come back with an eraser and fix some of this stuff. There we go. Now I think I should change this clip right here to make it a little bit more consistent with how the other side looks. Actually, I'm just going to leave it the way it was. It was perfectly fine. I'm just being a perfectionist. Alright, so now I'm going to make the decision. Am I going to put the eyes and that... You know what? Let's just put the whole head on another layer because it's not really going to move. And I might even create a symbol doing so. That's pretty darn clean. That doesn't normally happen. So, bat head is the symbol I'm going to create, and I'm going to double click to go inside of it. I was holding Control to use my select tool. Now I'm going to create a big old eyeball like that. And it doesn't need to be perfectly filled in because you're barely going to notice the difference here. And I'm going to Shift Control V, and then I'm going to hold Control to have my select tool so I don't get stuck inside of it. Let's flip that like that. There's a little bit more consistency. There's a little bit more consistence. I don't know. Words. I'm not paid by the word. I'm paid by the graphic. All right. Now, let's make the snoot. Now, I think I'm going to complete this circle here. And it's not complete, but that's okay. You're not going to see this. It's covered by eyeballs, or at least it will be. Snoot. Eyes. Head. Now, the reason I did that will come clear here in a moment. Oop, brush. And I want to grab the snoot, and let's do a little bit more of a roundish. That looks pretty good. I like the way it looks. I don't want it to look necessarily overly perfect. Now, let's do like a dark brown. The reason I don't want it to look perfect is because it's supposed to have a traditional animation feel to it. And it's already got that on, so we want color up there, huh? And let's do the same thing here. Well, let's do a little bit more of the darkness. And then that's too much. Let's turn this one off. Go in there like that. Turn this one up just a smidge. Turn that off. There we go. Now let's put the snoot behind the eyes. Now you kind of see what I'm saying. Before we did that, actually, let's lock everything and turn on the eraser. And let's just go... There we go. That's what we want. So it's a little bit less of an abrupt edge. There still is one, but inside of 3D space with a red light on and everything, you're not really going to see that too much. But you will see the fact that there is, in fact, a radial color. Radial being the circular motion that it is. It's really the gradient that I was trying to get at. I can't words today, apparently. Let's switch those around. So let's do, you know, instead of those weird horn things that I was going to do, like a, what's it called? Like a fruit bat, I'm going to do something a little bit more like a standard, the kind of bat that you would kind of picture. Let's do a lot more of an abrupt. See, that's too much. There, that's kind of more what I was picturing. And let's take the eraser and erase the bottom. Won't be needing that no mo. And let's switch these colors around, actually. Nope, wrong tool. Let's darken this so it's a little bit more consistent. Darken it even more, like this. See, I should be pulling the color directly, but I'm guessing for some reason. I'm already this deep, I might as well do it. There we go. That looks a little bit more three-dimensional, I suppose. Three-dimensional! Let's put a little, like, little lines like that. There we go. That's a nice ear. Let's copy it. Actually, let's do that again. Control-Alt, Control-C, Shift, and V. That way when I say modify it this way, horizontally, and then grab it and pull it over here, it's a little bit more consistent. I'm going to tweak it just a smidge. That way it's not perfect. Again, you don't want that. Usually anyways. Should that part be behind the head? I think I'm going to leave it. There you go. One bat head. I think that's all I need to do with that. You get the gist. I'm going to lock it and call that the head. Now, it may need to move around. I don't think it will, though. It's pretty much going to be stationary. And I think I can do the same thing for the body, since it is also going to be generally staying in the exact same spot. And I'm going to grab this, go down. Now, I remember that I didn't like how fat it looked in the before times. Last video, that is. Let's actually just hide this altogether. Same with this guy. Wings, and this one's going to be body. So let's try that again. Starting with the head, that way it hides whatever small imperfection there may or may not be. Like this. Now I'm not going to fix it because you're not going to see it. Why fix things that you're just not going to see? It's kind of a waste of time. By kind of, I mean it is. Now, let's grab this and put it inside of a symbol. Call it bat body. And I'm not putting numbers or anything on these because I know that there are not multiples. Like, there's not going to be another bat, so I don't really have to worry about that. And really, if I wanted to turn this into a character inside of a show, it's already pretty animatable. But essentially, this might move its head just a little bit once it starts to fly. I might actually just make it flop around when it is actually time to do the flying. But in the meantime, you know what, actually, let's just turn these off, because I know that the body and the head are now done, generally speaking, and I really just need to focus on the wings. So you know what, should I yeah, let's add feets, as I like to call them. And these feet are going to be behind the body. So actually, let's bring the body back and see. So if I would have drawn the feet down there, that would have been very inconsistent. And let's just go 1, 2, 3 like that. And this is obviously a very cartoony bat. And it's gonna have basically black feet, but not quite. Maybe like that, so you can see the feet. Like that. And let's create a symbol and call it foot. Bat foot. I don't really need to put the word bat, but again, for consistency's sake, and you never know, I might come back to this and want to use this as a cute little character in something else. People call that an Easter egg of sorts. So I'm just going to copy the layer itself, since I want these to move relatively independently. And let's go ahead and just do a little flip action. Modify, transform, flip horizontally. Now let's put these feet, both of them, behind the body, and you kind of get a better idea of what we're looking at here. There, that's a bat body. Sort of. It's it's cartoony, absolutely. I am a cartoon maker. Stay hydrated. That's the best part of the video, is listening to somebody drink water. Disturbing. Alright, let's go insert key, and let's delete this once I unlock it. Good job, me. Alright. And you know what? We don't need onion skin, since we have drawn this already. I'm just cleaning it up and making it look all fresh and fancy. Alright, so and I want a nice arc like that. I kind of like that little imperfection. Most of these kind of things you don't really notice when you're watching your favorite animated thing. Oh, those are too much. Here, I like this little square at the top, and let's do that. There we go. And that should be good. The last one is covered. Let's bring the body back. So I make sure to draw this line over to the body. Same with this one. And over here. Now when it comes time to color this, I'm going to have to draw a line of color right here. But I think I will know to do that in the future. Hopefully, past me and future me are on the same page. Alright, let's just keep this body here so I can see what the heck I'm doing. There we go. I know there's a lot of chaos going on here in the screen, but I think it'll help me draw the things. Alright, let's draw this one up here and swoop it on down. I'll let go because that was a nice swoop. In case I mess up, I won't have to redo that entire thing. Alright, perfect. That's what I want. And let's do something similar here. So this layer is always going to be on top. The wings are, so there can't really be intersection lines over the bat body itself, unless it is in fact in front. So that's why this wing has to stop right here, and I'm gonna have to like follow the body line right here in order to fill it in with color. What happened? Oh, okay. That's because it was a freaking... What's it called? I was drawing an object on accident, and I was like, oh, that'll be fine. If you recall that on the last video of this. Now, this is where it gets complicated, because I can't see which is which. Perhaps I can change the color over here. I cannot. Great. Convert to bitmap. Convert to... I don't know. I don't remember this part. It doesn't really matter. I'll just deal with it for the one frame or whatever it is. And I'll draw in red, and then I'll change that here momentarily. There, that was a bit easier. That was a really ugly line though. You see how much this messes with me? Let's stop right there. And bring this down. That looks alright. Acceptable. There we are. And let's do the same thing over here. Bring this down, bring it back up. Bring this down, bring it back up. Then you can fill your cup, because your cup is empty. Alright, alright. Let's make sure that looks alright. So, you can see where I kind of messed that up. Let's just bring it in. Bring it on in, fella. Okay, and then let's erase right here to there. And that's what we want. Now, let's see what this frame's all about. Boop. Turn this on, and that's more like it. Like my coffee hot. My toast burnt. Give me that burnt toast. I don't know. I'm alone and just doing what I do, and that is this. That is the sound of animation. Alright. That line didn't quite finish, but I don't think that that's going to be a problem. Again, I'm going for a bit more of the traditional animation look. I'm obviously not doing quite traditional animation. Because I'm using symbols and cheating things of the like. But it'll have the appearance of traditional animation, specifically when I'm using the wings to fly. They're obviously drawn frame by frame. And this one can just be copied, huh? Control-Shift-V, copy it right where it needs to be. And insert keyframe. And I should just insert a new blank keyframe, but I tend to not think of those kind of things in the moment. It doesn't really matter because it's only a delete key away, and if you consider that, it's never really that big of a deal. Now, here's where I can actually save some time. If I break part of this apart, once the wings are open enough to where the body is not in the way anymore, I'm going to grab all that and let's cut frames, open a new timeline, let's create a keyframe here and paste frames. Now this stuff can all be behind the body, and that'll make it easier for me when it comes time to coloring and such. I could just grab this like that. Oop. Not like that, like this. Oop, not like that. Like this. And that looks insane. I know. Let's save really quick. And let's grab this one too. Let's just turn this off so I don't need that anymore. Let's grab that and bring it all the way over here. That looks a little inconsistent. I could fix it later if I would like to. For now, I just want to lay this down. And how about this one? This one goes over to here. Let's grab that and bring it over here. Now it kind of looks like it's wearing like a wing backpack or something, but it's not. This is gonna be behind. And grab this one and bring it over here. Grab this again, grab it over here. Now, once this is done, I'm gonna put this inside of its own symbol and it'll be flapping around. I guess I could do that now, but I want to kind of like know what it looks like, I guess. And let's delete that. Alright. Now these wings, before we throw them in their own symbol and or even put them behind the bat, I'd like to create the wing color. So wings are like a dark brown, almost see-through actually. Which, can I do that? Will that look weird? Let's do like a 90%. 93. Let's try that. And turn off the lock fill. And this one. Does this one have a giant gap or something? Nope. It was just human error. It's like if it doesn't, if for some reason, if the image I'm trying to fill is not shown directly on the screen, it just is like, what are you trying to do? It won't fill it if part of the fill is not directly in view. So this is kind of neat. You can kind of see the body through the wing. And I want to create some in-betweens. I might do that here, I might not. But let's make sure we keep that fill available. And let's bring this wing in so it's actually consistent with his body. Its body, I guess. There's a little bit of a gap there. No, let's try it again. Go zoom in, and try again. That's half of this business, I swear to you. That looks alright. Because this is going to be in front, there can't be any like weird gaps. So I'm going to have to just go in and draw them. And I should draw them all first and then come back and fill them in. That'd be a little bit more time saving. That would be a time saving technique is what I really meant to say there. Goodness golly. You know what? I think that will look actually alright. See if I can make one nice consistent line. Risky business. It probably looks like I'm doing nothing because I'm following a black line that was already there. The reason I have to do that is because if I try to just fill it, as far as Animate CC is concerned, that's all I have sitting there on that layer. It doesn't see this part. So there was just a giant gap as far as it knows. And no, Animate CC does not have a nose. Why aren't you laughing with me? It's not funny? Alright. You know, I like giving an A for effort. Alright. Let's bring this in so that wing doesn't just come from nowhere. Let's go back to the fill tool and fill that in. There you go. You can kind of see its body now. Let's see what it looks like. We don't really need... we can go down to is it properties? And a guide. Let's turn that into a guide. And turn it back on, turn this off. Alright, let's see what this looks like real quick. Control S, and let's save it again. So if I go in and change something and I don't like it, I can go back to this file. Oops. The wings behind. Let's just put it behind the body. And then let's go over here, because all of this is garbage. We don't want it there. Well, sir, you're kind? I don't know. Actually, all of this right here too. And remove it because it looks weird at the end. So it opens its wings, and then the wings are behind it. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I can already tell one thing I would like to do here is work on the timing of this a bit. Just a bit. Now, the reason that this character is taking so long is because I'm traditionally animating the bat wings, and I'm also filling it with color as I go. I'm not just doing all the line work and then coming back and doing the fill afterwards and stuff like that. Now, if I was working on this for a client, let's say, I would want to do the line work and then send it over. Whoa, what just happened to it? Ah. Yeah, that's supposed to be opening its wings still here. Remove. Alright, let's see the timing. I could probably even remove more. And then once I remove enough frames that it looks clean, more like a bat actually opening its wings. Oops, I'm skipping this part. I can add an in-between or two if I need to, and the in-between will just be the wings. So, first of all, this guy's gonna need to be stationary for a while, so that'll probably help. So it already looks pretty darn clean. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Let's I think there needs to be an in-between for these two. Let's insert a keyframe here, and let's lock this and turn it red. That's helpful. Let's Control S to save, Control S to save a new file again. I do that all the time, and that is just so I don't lose data, and then if I don't lose data, I don't lose time. Very watery. So let's add a frame between these two, and I guess I could turn on that so I know where I was and where I want to be. I want something in between these two, okay? That's the idea of an in-between. So let's pull from the body, go a little bit out, but not quite that far. And then let's just make a little triangle, and that will be the front. That's too much. I should have stopped right Let's go like that and like this, actually. Oh no. Why am I trying to do this in one big swoop? I don't know. Go like that. And now this should end right there. That looks pretty good. And now let's make some little triangles. That's what triangles sound like. I don't know if you've been to Triangle Land, but all of them sound like that. Is that like a race joke? I don't. Are triangle supposed to be a type of being in this? I don't think so. Until I said it. Why didn't you? That's alright. It looked kind of weird, huh? That's a little bit too far down, I think. So, yeah, because it was way all this way in first. So that'll look a little bit more betterer. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now let's turn that off so I can see what the heck I'm doing. Delete this. Whoop, it won't let me because it's locked. Well, that was actually doing its job. Okay. Now, you know what? This can actually be behind, and then I could just connect the whole thing. That's a lot easier than trying to trace over what I've already done. Make less work for myself. That's probably a good idea. Control Shift. And let's bring this forward so I can see what the heck I'm doing when I do connect these lines. And let's bring it down like this. That's great. And bring this one together over here. That's great too, like that. And we can fill that in with color, like this. Nope, like this. So like, I don't know what you're trying to do here. Good job, sport. I'm not sure where that's supposed to be from. It's from somewhere though. Let's see. How many in-betweens do I really need to make on this guy? I know that looks weird, but it'll make sense when it's opening up its wings like that. So it starts flapping its wings right here. And I'm not really sure if it needs more flapping of the wings. Just delete this whole thing. One frame, that's it. You wouldn't think that one frame makes that big of a difference. It really does. And let's remove this frame to get it a little more consistent. Bring that down there so I don't forget what it is. Control S. Okay, let's see it again. That looks pretty darn good, I think, for that part anyways. I think there should be a little bit more between these two. So, again, I'm going to insert key, and let's save it again. Just for good measure, I save constantly. And let's go here so we can see what the last wings were. We don't really need any other guides other than I kind of want to see what it looks like later. So the green one's later, the blue ones now, or before. I got black. Let's make sure that radial color is still there. Yeah. Okay. The radial gradient. I don't know why I just call it radial color. You know what? The wing looks super weird like that. It's going to be opening up, right? So let's do it like that. And then this one, which is going to be over, Control Z. Now let's grab this, bring it about halfway out between the two, because it's an in-between. And I think I'm going to grab and erase over whatever I just draw over right now. Oops, I'm connecting a part that doesn't connect. It should connect back over here or something. Alright, so to see what I'm doing, let's get rid of that. And let's zoom in to make sure I grab and erase only what I'm trying to erase. So I should grab a circle actually. I'm erasing some drawings that I made earlier, 'cause I don't want to use it like that no more and stuff. And now I can just grab it and delete it. And there you go. There's that. And let's go back and put the body there. Put the body on the image. Put the body on the image. Man, I am so pumped up. Alright. Now we could just fill these in. Not with a brush. You don't fill in with a brush. Come on. Come on. Come on, man. What are you even doing? There we go. And that's my in-between. One of them. Alright. Now, let's play it. Control S to save first. Let's lock it all, because that looked weird. There's a few in-betweens. In between. Yeah. Okay, so now what can I do to make the head move? Now, I was going to put the head and the wings and stuff inside of a symbol and make it repeat that way, but really I could just copy it and then duplicate it throughout the timeline, and that will do just as good, if not better. So I think that the wings will be clean enough looking to where I don't really need them to look any more than they do, and especially if the head's moving and stuff like this. So really I'm just gonna grab the head right here and move it down like that, and that's gonna give the illusion with these classic tweens in between that it's moving like that. And I could also make like the feet move. That's probably a good idea. So let's just grab them both, enter a keyframe, grab them both over here so then they actually come back to a consistent movement. And let's grab both of them this way, and let's unlock both of those. Let's grab, zoom in, and move it like that, and like maybe that way. Let's see how it looks. Grab all of these and create a classic tween. Oh, I didn't do it. Human error, that's really what this is. It has nothing to do with the program. Put the body in front of the feet. So then it's, and then, yeah, see its feet are moving when it flaps its wings. Same with its head. And then when it's actually in the animation, I will create its movement so it'll appear to be flying. But right now it's obviously just stationary. I say that a lot. Oops. That's not what I wanted to do. Let's go right here. And paste frames. Nope, that didn't do what I want. Copy all of these. Copy frames. Maybe it just wants me to do it like this. Nope. It needs to select all of it. Just do the thing. There you go. Now let's make sure before I get too carried away with pasting all these frames, which again I think it's going to be easier than putting inside of a symbol of its own. Let's actually grab, let's Control Z. Yeah, see, that has a little bit too much of a pause, I think. So I'm going to select these again, remove frame. You know what, let's just grab it and put it inside of a symbol. I'm going to end up putting way too much work into making it not that way. It's insert keyframe. Let's unlock everything. Let's grab this body and let's go bat, fly, fly. Very, very technical. You probably don't even understand what I'm saying. Copy frames. Let's go inside of this and paste frames. That didn't do what I wanted it to. Oh, I thought someone was upstairs, but it's just my cats being cats. I'm just going to copy the whole layers now and paste them inside. Cannot paste a symbol inside of itself. Right. So I'm going to copy all of these, not the body. Now I'm going to go back inside, paste, and let's grab it and move it right where it needs to be. Measuring it up with the feet. That way it's on point. And let's delete it all the way up until right there. That way it repeats. Control Z, Control Z. First off, layer 1 needs to be this many long, and that's going to be body. Like that. And it's off. I don't know why. I'm not going to fight it. Let's just remove these frames and get it where it needs to be. Now this body is the only thing I really need, but I'm going to line it up with the head first. Okay. And select all these. Delete. That didn't do what I wanted. Delete. Remove frames. I'm going to remove frames here as well. Remove frames. Let's Control Shift S just to make sure I didn't screw anything up. And I don't have to go back and redo a bunch of stuff. It should look nice and clean when I play the animation. Let's make sure that's the case. Now, if I grab this, which I should put on its own timeline, let's do that. Control, first off, let's move this down. In case I want to animate that as well. Let's Control X to cut it, and then let's Control Shift paste, and that's V. Delete that so it's not duplicated over it. And you see the body move down a little bit. Let's fix that. Body, go up 1 or 2 actually. And let's check what that did. It still needs to go up a little bit more. Honestly, that's probably alright. A lot of scrubbing back and forth. It's the business. The business, as I say. What do I know? And let's bring this whole layer out all the way. Oh my gosh. Insert frame, and way past where it needs to be, just in case the new band. Now let's go to the main timeline and kind of see what this looks like from afar. I can actually grab this and move it around wherever it needs to be. So you get the gist. Now it's a repeatable symbol inside of a symbol, and it's animated. So it's going to drop down and then start to fly. So I'm going to go here and add a bunch of frames with F5 until it's about, it should be like, it's going to be like 5 seconds in or so before it starts dropping down to even fly. Maybe 4 seconds. Let's guess 4. Let's look according to the storyboard that you can't see. It's printed out actually. Well, by printed out I mean I drew it with pencil and paper. And I'm still really old school with the storyboards. Just because I like to get away from the computer, and it's like the one opportunity that I have to do so when I'm creating an animation, so I take that opportunity and run with it. Now, does anything else need to be changed here? Was I going to change something before I started turning this into a symbol? Oh, I wanted to add a little something here. Maybe moving these 3 this way. Maybe I'll move it actually all the way. And like that. Let's see what that looks like. So the head moves a little bit more constant. Like I didn't really like the fact that it was very clear that the head stopped. Yeah, that looks about right. The only thing that really stays is the body, and that's just because it's not actually moving as far as in the main timeline or the finished animation, but it is an asset that's ready to be dumped into the final animation. So really, I think that's good enough. I mean, that's not what I mean. I mean, it's finished and is ready to be exported. So I'm going to save it again as the finished project. Fin. I like to put that in there so when myself or somebody else comes in to look at it, they know where I have left off. And so let's create. Let's see, do I need to go into properties and change anything? Publish settings. Okay. I don't need to worry about that apparently. Export, and I can just export as a video, and when I do so, I'm going to just make sure that the background is transparent. I should actually make sure this is full screen. I'm holding shift and grabbing the corner. So it's vector art, and I can resize this accordingly when I am inside of Blender already. So I'm going to consider this animation done, and it's going to be ready to toss inside of Blender. So it's going to start upside down, and then right at about the 4-second mark, it's going to fall and start turning right side up. At that point, it will open its wings and then start to fly towards the camera. And I think it looks pretty cute. Totes adorbs, or something. So that's a 60 frame per second animated clip of a bat dropping down and flying. It's currently stationary, like I've said 1,000 times within the last 2 videos of creating this guy. And I definitely took my time animating this guy. I'm not in crunch, so I was able to fart around and kind of talk about what I was doing. Normally I can animate something like this in maybe 40 minutes total if I really put my head down and was working, but that's not what I was doing here. So if you need something kind of like that, there's erply.com, and I can generate an asset for you. I can create anything start to finish. Check me out later, or check me out now. I have a million videos on the YouTube, and YouTube is connected to my website, erply.com, ERPOLLEY. And yeah, I know I look like I'm dehydrated, but I've been drinking plenty of water. I think the weather's just changing here in Spokane. So until next time, I will see you later. Bye.